Hey everybody, my name is Chris and I'm a tutor here at Chegg.com, and I mostly do math and computer science. And in this video I want to do a trigonometric example. So here we want to evaluate sine to the fourth of theta given that the cosine of 2 theta is 3/10. So there are several different ways to approach this, just like with most trig problems. But the way I want to do it in this video is to use power reduction formulas. So there are a couple different formulas we could use. So we have, the one I want to use is actually sine squared of theta equals 1 minus cosine of 2 theta, all divided by 2. Okay, now I would like to point out, just as a side note, that sine to the fourth of theta actually does have its own power reduction formula, but it's going to be a little more complicated to use. So it's 3 minus 4 times the cosine of 2 theta plus the cosine of 4 theta, all divided by 8. Now we can certainly use that, but the trouble is that we don't really know what cosine of 4 theta is. We're given the cosine of 2 theta, and we could use that to find the cosine of 4 theta, but it's an extra step for us, and this expression here is more complicated to evaluate than this expression here. Now, this isn't quite all we need to do because we want sine to the fourth of theta, not sine squared of theta. But we can use this combined with the fact that sine to the fourth of theta is just sine squared of theta squared. Okay, so we just want to evaluate this and square it, and that's going to give us sine to the fourth of theta. So just to recap real quick, what we want to do is take this 1 minus cosine of 2 theta all over 2 and square it, because that's going to give us the sine squared of theta squared, which is exactly what we want. Let's make that a little nicer. That's going to be sine to the fourth of theta. Okay, so we're given that the cosine of 2 theta is 3/10, so then what we have is 1 minus 3/10 all over 2, and then that whole thing is being squared. So what we should do is get a common denominator up on the top here. So that 1, I'm going to multiply it by 10 over 10. Okay, so then what we have is 10 minus 3 all over 10. That's all on the top, and then everything is still being divided by 2, and still everything is being squared. Okay, so then what we have, 10 minus 3 is 7, so we have 7 over 10, still over 2, all being squared. Now if we have 7 over 10 and we divide that by 2, that's the same thing as just saying 7 over 20, and we're still squaring everything. So this is the same thing as squaring the top and squaring the bottom and then dividing them separately, just like this. So then what we have is 49 on top and 400 on the bottom, and there's nothing else that we can do to simplify that. So our final answer then is just sine to the fourth of theta equals 49 over 100. And again, if we really wanted to, we could use this other power reduction formula, but first we'd have to find the cosine of 4 theta, which would require us to use another trigonometric formula, which is fine, but it's just a little more work, and then we'd have to evaluate this whole expression, which is also a little more work. But we'd end up at the same result, which is sine to the fourth of theta is 49 over 100. So this has been an example of using power reduction formulas, and I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you for watching.